Welcome everyone to the Eye for an Eye channel. Don't tune out, don't turn away because you think that this is some type of onion-like story that is from a tabloid at the grocery store. No, this is stuff that's actually occurring in Congress. While everybody's going broke, nobody can argue that they're not seeing it in their wallet when things cost $1 million every time you go to buy even something like a dozen eggs or a gallon of milk is $10. So everybody's going broke, everybody hates one another. Everybody is becoming content with children choosing their own genders. And of course, in Congress, instead of, trying to make things normal again, and by all definition of normal, I mean sane, no, instead we just decide to take it to new levels of insane, of course, because remember, we have to continue to indoctrinate the sleeping masses out there. So what better way, of course, than to have somebody roll in 2 caskets into a courtroom and allege that they are deceased aliens. That's right, deceased aliens. In fact, one of them is actually pregnant, right? It was a pregnant alien at one point. I guess they were conceiving here on Earth. It died. I'm surprised that they didn't want to abort the child in the courtroom as well while they were there, since they love to do that so much. But this is what's going on in America, ladies and gentlemen. A mass indoctrination is occurring. They are using the courts to put absolutely ludicrous things in front of our faces and act as if we're supposed to believe this stuff. We're supposed to believe that men are born in the wrong bodies, that women are born in the wrong bodies, that men should be castrating their children, men can have babies, aliens are having birth on Earth and they're dead for 1,000 years and their corpses don't even rot. These are all things that we're supposed to apparently believe are really going on, when in fact, of course, they're not. This is called a massive psychological operation. And it's so unbelievable that they decided to air this story on almost every affiliate news station across America. Why? Well, remember, I always talk about the affiliate news stations. There are real stories that get on those. But anytime there's a story that goes national from a little small place or a little town or Mexico or New Mexico, wherever, well, guess what? If it's going viral for a reason. They are indoctrinating the masses with the belief that aliens are real. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't demons, because demons are real. Demons manifest, okay? These people summon spirits. All that stuff is real. The whole idea of little airplanes flying around, little UFOs, these are government spacecraft that they have. And we all know the whole drawing and vision of a gray alien is based off of Aleister Crowley's teachings, where he openly talks about how aliens are going to be called, or demons, are going to look like this is how they look, and they're eventually going to have a new name, and that new name is aliens. But look at the affiliate news stations picking up on this unbelievable story.
This is the story a lot of people are talking about today. Alleged evidence of aliens being presented in Mexico. Experts who study extraterrestrials testified in front of the country's Congress. 2 bodies in caskets revealed during the proceedings.
Allegedly.
Air quote bodies, right?
Yeah, okay.
The white-looking corpse were said to be found in Peru in 2017, estimated to be 1,000 years old.
Allegedly.
Scans of the bodies claim they have the big brains, the big eyes, 3 fingers. They lack teeth. This comes 2 months after a former American Navy fighter pilot testified in front of U.S. Congress about the existence of UFOs.
I'm just thinking, if I have alien bodies, I'm not keeping them under wraps for like 6-7 years before I roll them out. That's all I'm saying.
I think.
Okay, some new video today of what some say is evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence. Presenters say the 2 mummified bodies they unveiled before Mexico's Congress this week were recovered in Peru in 2017 and were 700 and 1,800 years old, respectively. The remains have only 3 fingers on each hand and elongated heads. One of the researchers who presented the remains says he could prove the DNA of the 2 mummies did not belong to human beings. They are quite something to look at, Josh.
That they are.
Yes, it looks like E.T., essentially. And I see it. There was a spotting above government camp, too, from what I'm looking at right there.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my gosh. What is going on?
They're upset about the story, I guess.
Scientists in Mexico put on display what they claim are 2 alien corpses, but not everybody's convinced. These small, allegedly mummified specimens were unveiled at Mexico's first ever UFO hearing yesterday. The alleged alien corpses were found in Peru and are said to be 700 to 1,800 years old. X-rays of the aliens were also shown, and experts say one of the bodies had eggs inside it. Other science observers say many of the details given about the figures made no sense, and it would take more than X-rays to determine if something was non-human.
So, of course, I don't know if that's George Bush in that casket and maybe David Rockefeller in the other. I mean, it obviously resembles our current president, so maybe he took the day off and went into the courtroom as well. I mean, can you make this stuff up? Or does anybody even want to ask why this guy has possession of it? Or does somebody even want to ask an even more important question? Why do they have caskets? They only bring this into Congress to obviously just beat it into people's heads that aliens are real. They're using different methods of mind control at this point. And this is one of them. So Mexico City, their Congress heard testimony from experts who study extraterrestrials this week. And the hearing started with a huge surprise. Jamie Mason, a self-described UFOologist, brought 2 caskets into the congressional chambers. So Lord only knows what that guy's doing with those, by the way. Who owns these? That guy Jamie Masakis owns these things? He's bringing them home at night? I don't want to know what he's doing with them, but you think maybe the government, if this was real, would want to make sure that this wasn't going in front of court? No, of course not. They want this in front of court because they want you to believe the deception now, because it's time, because they're full throttle here with Agenda 2030. So they say the corpses looked white and like stereotypical depictions of aliens. I was going to say they looked, again, more like George Bush Sr., or even some of these clowns we see in Congress every day. But yes, stereotypical depictions of aliens. And why is there? Does anyone ask that question? Why is there a stereotypical depiction of aliens? Just like how we have stereotypes in our society. Nobody asks questions. Why do they say a certain race of people likes a certain food? They're the ones who create all these things and then put these seeds in people's heads and then go, that's racism. They're the ones who do that. That's sexism. Oh, that's a stereotype saying a woman should cook. Oh my gosh, you're a bigot and a hateful person. Well, who made up the stereotype? Oh, the mainstream media and the government. Why? Oh, because it's used as a technique to divide. So when we say stereotype, right? Oh, you play sports, you must be a jock. Oh, you watch cartoons, or you watch or play with Dungeons and Dragons, you must be a dork. Well, there's truth to that, but you get my point, right? We have a stereotypical depiction of an alien, and nobody goes, well, why do they look like that? Why don't they look like elephants? How do we know they don't look like giraffes? Why do we have this? Oh, right. Because this depiction is to beat it into your head when they summon over spirits from the other side, which they're doing now, using the technology and everything else that's going on that people don't realize with artificial intelligence and quantum computers. They want you to know what it looks like so you're ready to accept it. Because if somebody said, hey, you know what? A demon is here. There are demons here. I think everybody would band together and go after them. No, they don't even want you to just believe aliens exist. They want you to accept them. That's part of why they're doing this. To be like, that's great. Remember in the movie Independence Day? They're like buzzing down and the woman's like, we love you. That's pretty much what they're trying to do. And it's working because now that we have such a weakened society, the aliens, just like we're seeing with artificial intelligence and robots, have more rights than people, right? Well, we're saying hate speech because we're not agreeing with the government, but the aliens are wonderful. If you get a flamethrower on an alien, that's murder. That's capital murder. You can get the electric chair for that. So the stereotypical depiction of an alien is from Aleister Crowley. And the only reason they have a stereotypical image of what it's supposed to look like is because that's what the demons look like, because that's what Crowley drew. Okay? And they want to normalize it so that when they do this stuff and bring these things over, which is what they're doing with CERN, we all know this, right? If you don't know it, well, you're welcome to the rabbit hole. Okay? They want you to be like, hey, whoa, it's just an alien, a demon. Demons aren't real, because if everybody knew demons were real, what do you think would happen? They would find God pretty fast, right? They work very hard on hiding God every day. We all know the stories of how they've hidden so many things that, we could see that would prove of God's existence. That's why all the idiots out there are like, where's Jesus? Where's the existence of Jesus? Where's the existence of God? Oh, it's everywhere, actually. You see it every day in your life, but if you don't want to believe that he created the earth and all that stuff, you want to see actual physical evidence as far as, this is where Noah's Ark was. Well, it's been proven to be found. Sodom and Gomorrah has been found, okay? Out in the middle, I believe it's Saudi Arabia, right? We can't get into it, right? It's fenced up, because imagine they had it open to the public and they're like, this is where it occurred. Well, number one, nobody would be on board with the current agenda, because they'd be like, well, God's against it, so I'm against it, right? And then number two, there wouldn't be any atheists, so they have nobody that they can manipulate and control, right? See how this all works? So they work very, very hard on creating this mindset of people that God's unreal. And they even got to the point where they have Christians not take the Bible literally at this point. There's Christians who are like, Oh, that stuff's not real. Oh, well, Jesus was giving exorcisms, so why do we not believe that? Oh, well, let's have a cupcake fundraiser at the church. I don't want to talk about that stuff. That's what ends up happening, right? So anyway, my point being about aliens again. If people knew they were demons, they wouldn't accept them. So they've created this whole illusion of what an alien is. They're smarter. They're wonderful life forms from other universes, and they're all coming here. And of course, that's the whole deception with space, is believing that there's life on other planets and everything. That makes it seem like God's minimal and that there's a whole universe out there, and God's not. There's these things beyond the illusion of God is what they try to beat into people's heads, when God's in control of all of it. And what they're doing is psychologically abusing people on a day in and day out basis. We're all living pretty much in a fake reality. The majority of pretty much everything they've told us in the school systems that is true is not. I mean, there's some stuff sprinkled in, just like with COINTELPRO, there's some stuff sprinkled in, but for the most part, I mean, every single thing is a lie. So we live in this alternate reality, and of course, we have Christians who don't even believe demons are real or demonic possession, etc. So the depiction of aliens is done by design. Anyway, Musan, who apparently sleeps with these things, said they found them in Peru in 2017 and are estimated to be 1,000 years old. One of the bodies had been pregnant. Oh, had been. Okay. These are not mummies, he said. These are complete bodies that have not been manipulated. Speaking under oath, Musan claimed the bodies were non-human. Musan and others have presented similar claims about alleged alien remains in the past. Scientists have dismissed them as either ancient mummies or manipulated mummies. During Tuesday's hearing, Jose de Jesus Zalens Benitez, that's a heck of a name, a forensic expert and military doctor, walked the Congress through scans of the alleged alien bodies. I mean, if you look at these things, I mean, these look like things that are at Spirits, the Halloween stores, or whatever they're called now, Party City, Party Fair, right? I mean, we've seen Hot Topic at the mall, or Spencer's, those types of stores. They have things that look just like, but of course, they're telling us it's real, so we have to believe it's real. And if we question it, of course, we're conspiracy theorists. So he claimed that the alleged aliens had big brains and big eyes, which allowed for a wide stereoscopic vision. And they lacked teeth, so they likely only drank and did not chew. Or they couldn't come up with artificial teeth to put into this fake contraption that they created. It was too much money, probably. Our tax money had to go elsewhere, the trafficking. Anyway, the hearing also included remarks by Ryan Graves, any relation to Lucian, executive director of the Americans for Safe Aerospace Organization, a former Navy fighter pilot. Graves was one of 3 U.S. veterans who testified in front of a U.S. Congressional subcommittee investigating the existence of UFOs in July. Mexico's Congress also was shown video of Mexican pilots struggling to make sense of fast-moving flying objects before them. I love how all of a sudden these are popping up. Day in and day out, we hear stories about the military happening to see these things, right? But none of us really do. And when we do, we know of SpaceX is sending stuff into the sky. We know that they can manipulate and do all this stuff. I mean, let's be realistic, right? But nobody's actually got hold of one yet, until now, apparently, because Jamie dug one up from 1,000 years ago, and they know that it drinks out of a straw, so it like Slurpees, it doesn't have teeth. And one of them happened to be pregnant, so they were getting down and dirty here on Earth, right? Yeah, it's Lucifer's kids, right? Why don't we just call them what they are? Probably should just name them Kamala and Joe. So he says, we are not alone. This is what the guy says on the stand. I mean, this is Congress. Again, this is your tax money. Okay, so it should bother you that they're using it to now put on the charade of agendas that they're pushing that they want you to believe as reality, when they don't give a crap about whether or not you can eat, whether or not your roads are. They don't care about any of it. They care about that, and they care about getting guys who are decapitating themselves, or whatever you want to call it, John Bobbiting themselves, getting them into schools so they can talk to your kids. That's what they care about. And again, it's conditioning. That's all that these things are. It's conditioning to constantly see and hear about this stuff now. And it'd be like, and a lot of people who are conservative, who believe in conspiracy, think that these things are actually aliens. They're, what do they call them? Like baby truth or baby awake. They don't really have a full grasp of what's going on. But they're like, well, the government's hiding all this stuff from us, right? These are the people who, fully support Trump and don't think that they're playing them. They think this whole charade going on is real. It's just, all it is mind control, manipulation. They're like, oh yeah, they're hiding this stuff about aliens. Why don't they tell us about the aliens? You mean the demons? You mean the demons they're trying to normalize and bring over and then have you accept and love and befriend, right? Yeah, it's going to be quite insane, but it already is insane. So this is going on in Congress. Don't be upset about it. don't think for one second that these look fake, that this isn't a ridiculous concept. Just enjoy the show because we're living in a circus, an absolute circus. Welcome to the Clown Show. I thank everyone for being here. Reminder, please subscribe to my other channel if you haven't yet. I am uploading new content there, but I'm also uploading a lot of the videos that most of you probably missed that have been taken down from other channels in the past, ones that are off of the other channel that I had, which were new and current that I want up, that I want people to be able to see. So definitely sub now. It's Uprising Revival, link below. And definitely check out the website, uprisingrevival.com. If you're not there, you're missing out on a lot of content that you need to know about with, what's going on now with the outbreak and the next things to come. Everybody needs to be aware and everyone needs to be in contact with each other. It's important. Not many of us left. I thank you guys again for being here. Hope you're doing well. God bless all of you as always and your families.